Hey, everybody, welcome back to the new episode of the Balanced Vibes podcast. This is your host, Gersten. I hope you enjoyed the last episode where I talked about why it's okay to have a body composition change goals and why it doesn't make you a bad person or doesn't make you wrong if you want to change something. And it also doesn't mean that you are not connected to your true self, your higher self. It doesn't have to mean that. And it's totally possible to find a middle ground with your health and nutrition in all kinds of ways, right? In all of these aspects. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, and please share your thoughts with me if you have them. The second thing I want to say, please join my Fit and Fueled Facebook group. It is a fantastic place, and I'm putting out a lot of content there, sharing the things that will not be shared anywhere else, and also have in a couple of weeks a new challenge coming up there. So I hope you join the group and bring your friends as well. We have a lot of fun there, and I hope you find this useful and helpful. So join it. It's called Fit and Fueled. Search for it on Facebook or go to my Instagram bio. You can find it in my bio too when you click on that link there. And of course, you can also find it in my YouTube description and show notes. So what we're going to talk about today is you need patience. You need patience when going through the reverse dieting process, aka the build-up phase. And I'm going to tell you what it means, why you need patience, and I'm also illustrate all this with a client case study. So if you are not familiar what a build-up phase is, you probably have not been listening to my podcast for a very long time yet. That's okay. Welcome if you're new. But if you have been here for a while, you already know what it means. But just to give you an overview and do like a little recap. So why do we need that build-up phase, aka reverse diet? So reverse diet is something that we need after we have done a lot of dieting already and really slowed down your metabolism, our metabolism, to the place where it just doesn't respond to anything anymore. We're often feeling fatigued, we're often feeling tired, but even if you're able to ignore these signs, which some people are really good at doing, and I just don't care, I just want to change my body. Well, your body's not going to change if you are in this state consistently, if you have run your body down to the place where it's just so depleted and so fatigued. And this often happens as a result of either yo-yo dieting or cutting your calories super, super low, unreasonably low, but it also happens as a result of long fasting, which I see more and more lately, unfortunately. We're talking about like 16 hours, 18 hours fasting and keeping the eating window really, really short. It also can happen as a result of doing keto too hardcore. And I don't love either of these approaches. I want you to eat healthy. I want you to eat all 3 macronutrients. I want you to not extend your fast to unreasonable amount. Why not to just do a normal overnight fast, which is like 11, 12 hours, totally fine. So, but these things can really drive your metabolism down to the place where it's just not responding anymore. And like I said, if you're able to ignore the signs like, oh, I'm not making any progress in the gym, I feel like shit all the time, really tired, but I just want to change my body. But then your body at one point is not going to change anymore because you have just squeezed it empty. There's nothing anymore it can give you. So this might be a wake-up call. And this might be a place where you're like, okay, something needs to change because obviously cutting more calories is not changing, is not helping anymore. So today I want to kind of show you one case study, how this was done really, really successfully, because we do remember that at the end of the day, the goal is still usually weight loss, fat loss, right? We're just hit a really hard wall and now we want to just get moving again. So I'm going to tell you about one of my clients. I'm not going to mention her name, but she's a badass. She has done everything the way I have told her to do. And that's why she has been very successful. And this brings me to my first point. You have to be very coachable. You have to be coachable. You have to trust your coach who has done this with multiple clients, has seen it, knows it works. Don't argue, right? Don't do your own thing. Don't go hiding. Don't go like, hey, I'm still going to do a little keto here and there. No, you're not going to do this. Listen to your coach. And this is exactly what she has been doing. So when she first came to me in spring 2021, she wanted to lose body weight. And what she had done previously to lose body weight had been somewhat successful, but not long term. And this is key here. We want our weight loss to be successful long term. I don't ever care if you can lose weight for 1 month. You don't care either. You don't want it. You don't want to gain it back. But this is sadly the reality for many, many women. They just gain it back. So she had lost weight here and there with keto. So she had done a lot of it, but it wasn't sustainable for her. She said, the summertime came and then we went camping and I couldn't do the keto anymore. And then the weight came back on. Okay, yeah, then it probably didn't work. So she knew that it wasn't the answer for her, although she had a little bit of luck with it. It wasn't sustainable. She was also doing a lot of running because most people, and I don't blame anybody. This is the message I feel like it's very strong, has been for decades, that if we want to lose body weight, then we have to go running. And this is what she was doing too. So about 4 days a week, she was running, doing a lot of it, combining with low carb eating. And of course, she lost a little bit of weight until she didn't anymore. She also had pretty big thyroid issues. So she was on medication. She still is, but she has been able to reduce it now. And she was, she wanted to lose weight and she didn't feel great. She was feeling depleted. Nothing was happening anymore. She didn't want a keto because she knew that it had not be working, and she was eating relatively low calories too on top of eating keto. I can't remember off the top of my head what her carb count was, but it was pretty low, and her calories were somewhere around 1300 if I'm not mistaken. So she came to me, she was 165 pounds, and of course I quickly realized that this is a situation where we absolutely need to do a build up phase, aka reverse diet. You can also hear a term metabolic restoration. They actually all mean the same thing. And this is something we have to do to get the metabolism responsive again, because right now it just isn't. So let me tell you, if you've been doing the past year, you've been doing multiple diets, or in the past 6 months, you have been in a calorie deficit in one way or another, or you have been doing lots of fasting or lots of keto, this is the path you got to take. I'm just going to tell you, I'm not going to make it pretty. I'm not going to tell you that, the last 6 months you've been like doing intermittent fasting plus keto, and, we start working together in 3 months, your problems are going to be solved. No, it's not going to be like this. You need to restore your metabolism. It's going to be longer process than what you want it to be, but this is the process that you need. So moving on to what we then did with her, we started increasing her food intake. You knew that this is going to happen. I've talked about it plenty of times. And then we, of course, also increased her carbohydrates and started lifting weights only. So the running completely went away. And you can run if you want to. She didn't want to. She also had some pain that she had developed as a result of running, because after she stopped running, the pain also went away. She started strengthening her muscles, getting a lot stronger, and all these issues went away. Her body composition started changing already as we increased her calories. So already in the process of metabolic restoration, build-up phase, reverse diet, whatever you want to call it, they all mean the same thing. She started seeing body composition change. Right. And this was, of course, great news. And she's like, oh, wait, I didn't know it can work this way. Now, I want to say that this is not a weight loss guarantee. That reverse diet phase is not a weight loss guarantee. Sometimes I have people say, oh, I'm so disappointed. I started this thing and I'm not losing any weight. You got to realize that the point here is to restore your metabolism to make it healthy for later fat loss. Because without this phase, you cannot do it. Now, some people are lucky and start losing weight during the reverse diet already. And this is awesome. Everybody wants to be that person. Unfortunately, not everybody is that person, but some people are, and that's great. And now others will put on a little bit of weight, but they can still have a great body composition change. So this was her case too. She dropped a little bit of weight initially. Her body composition started changing pretty quickly. And then she stayed around the same weight and then eventually gained a little bit, but her body composition was changed and her inches came down. So once we got her calories to the right place where I want them to be for her activity level and for her everyday, whatever she burns, then after that, we had to keep her in this place. So this is like giving your body some extra time to heal and recover from the past, what has happened in the past, which was the keto and just too much of carb restriction and too low calories. So now we gave her this period of time where she just let herself eat at higher calories. By the way, this should not be random. So that's why I tell you that you should be working with a coach so you know your numbers and track your macros. So she was there, and then after that, it came time to come back to calorie deficit. And now this time around, we wanted to do it in a healthy way so that we're not cutting out the carbohydrates, so that we're not taking the calories down to 1300 and eat this way for 8 months. This is not the plan that we're going to do. So what we did instead was a moderate calorie cut. We're not talking about 1200, 1300 calories, way more than that. And then she continued lifting. So she has continued lifting about 3 days a week. She has had really busy schedule lately, so we have actually cut the workouts a little. We have cut the workouts a little bit shorter, but on average, she has still been able to do 3 workouts a week and sticking with her macros. And now, early November 2022, she is about 167 pounds, but her inches are down 19, right? So 19 total inches off her body while being 2 pounds heavier. Now, what does this teach us? It teaches us that don't obsess over the scale so much. Don't obsess about it, because if you lift weights, which I hope you do, sometimes your body weight will increase. And at the same time, you may lose body fat still, which is exactly the case that happened to her. So please don't be so stuck with the scale and only think about that and only measure your progress with that. I've talked about it so much, but I feel like I can never talk about it too much because a lot of people still don't believe this. So I have to show them, hey, she is now 2 pounds heavier because she has built muscle. At the same time, she has dropped body fat because she's 19 inches down overall from her body. And almost 6 of those inches were from her waistline, which is a great thing, right? So she needed a lot of patience, and she did everything that I told her to do. And this is exactly what you need to do when you start this journey of reverse diet or build up phase or metabolic restoration. You're going to need a lot of patience, right? I understand that this method sounds like total nuts if you've never heard about it before, because the common logic is, well, I eat more, I'm going to gain weight, I'm going to get fat, it's going to get worse, blah, blah, blah. I have people who are telling me, but I cannot understand how an overweight person like me, 200 plus pounds, I cannot justify increasing my calories to 2000 because I'm a larger person. Larger people have to eat less. But let me tell you, sometimes you need to do this. You have to restore your metabolism before you can go into a cut. And 2000 calories for a 200-pound person is not too much. If you have a healthy body, you should be able to handle that and even a little bit more. So let me tell you, I personally, my maintenance calories are about 2600. Right? And I am about 160 pounds right now. So this is what I can eat and not gain weight and not lose weight. So this is, if I want to lose weight, I'm going to cut that a little bit, but I'm not going to cut like crazy. So for me, the cut would be like 2200. So this is a deficit for me. And I start losing weight. I know this. So I want to show you that you have to have a healthy metabolism, and she has exactly accomplished that. And this is why now she is responding so well. This is why she has been able to lose 19 inches off her body, because she did that build up phase. She trusted the process. So I don't know, this is so important. Tattoo it on your forehead or something if you need to, if you're going through this process. Trust the process. Trust it, trust it, trust it. And also, you're going to need a boatload of patience because it's not going to happen overnight. But it is very, very rewarding if you do it right. And here is how you do it right. So you have to be accurate with your tracking. You can't do it like, oh, I'm just going to not track this and not track that. If you want to do it a healthy way, if you want to do it the way that produces the results that you want to get, which is eventually weight loss, fat loss, and if you don't want to go too far, like to the other end where you just eat whatever you want, and now you gain a bunch, you have to track. I really recommend that you track. And you have to track with accuracy, and you have to track with consistency. This is, of course, also true when you have a weight loss goal later. The numbers that your coach gives you, or maybe you figure them out yourself. I hope you did it right if you did so. You have to be accurate, because it doesn't give you results if you just track, let's say 5 days a week, and then 2 days a week is just a mess. You eat whatever, whenever, you have no consistency. You also don't get results if you don't track all the things. If you just have a handful of chips here and a handful of chocolate chips there, and then you track all the other things, your main meals, but these tiny little things go untracked. This is not how you get results either. So you have to know what you're doing. You have to pay attention. You have to put stuff on the food scale to weigh that. And is it work? Oh yeah, it is work. I'm not going to argue with that. Absolutely. But is it worth it? Well, you decide how much do you want to get what you say you want to get. So if you have this goal, then you have to be accurate with it, and you have to stick with it, have the patience, and put in the time and effort to do this. And now for this client specifically, like I said, 167 pounds, which is 2 pounds up, but 19 inches down. Yesterday, she texted me and she said, yes, I used to wear clothes 10 or 12, size 10 or 12, and now I'm down to 4. Okay. So from 10 to 12 to 4. Being 2 pounds heavier than when she started working with me. She also says her sex drive is a lot better, which is, of course, good news, not only for her, but also for her partner. I mean, who wouldn't be happy to hear that, right? And then also she has reduced her thyroid medications. She has way better muscle definition. She says her kids are, pointing out all the time, Mom, you got muscles. Mom, you look so cool. You look so fit and so healthy. This is awesome. They do a lot of stuff with their kids. They play with their kids. They're a very active family, and they understand the value of, being physically active and being fit and healthy. And nothing about this journey for her has been obsessive or like crazy, or I can't have this and can't do that. She's been out. She's been eating, occasionally. I'm not talking about all the time, but occasionally, eating out. She has been traveling for work lately, taking like entire week where she needs to be somewhere else, traveling for work, figuring it out how to eat when she, has to eat out occasionally, but how to make better decisions. So it shouldn't be like a restrictive diet and like hardcore and never eat out and like pure misery. It's not like that. But what matters is what you do most of the time. And most of the time you have to be accurate with your tracking. You have to be consistent. You have to trust the process, and you have to have a lot of patience when you're going through this process. So I hope this inspired you. And if you are in this position where you're doing all the things right, but nothing is working for you, then there's a good chance that you have to do this, because what else are you going to do? You've tried a lot of things already, and it's not going to be another diet that's going to save you. What's going to save you is metabolic restoration, aka the build up or the reverse diet. And after that, you can do a healthy weight loss, fat loss, because now your body is in a healthy place to do it. And this is exactly what this client did. And this is why she was so successful. All right, you guys, I hope that this was motivating and inspiring to you, that it gave you some courage. If you're kind of on the fence, you don't know if you should or not, yeah, you should do this. So thank you so much for listening. And I will talk to you again very soon. Please leave a comment if you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you again. Bye-bye.